Goodness. What an introduction. Let's see. I will try to do my best. Thank you everyone for being here today. And well, I guess that you might be tired by this time, so I will try to say everything that I would like to say in 20 minutes. I cannot promise that, but I will do my best. And in order to do that, I got some notes just not to go around the bushes and all that. Okay, so first of all, thank you everyone for participating on this event. I think that it is a very important event and that is very not only resourceful, but also it's quite motivating and inspiring for everyone. So I'm very happy to be part of this event. Okay. This was planned originally in IATEFL, last IATEFL conference. This was planned as a workshop, but I'm not going to go about that as a workshop fully. Otherwise, we will be here the whole afternoon. So I will start by reading the title of my presentation that is called An Interdisciplinary Approach in EFL, Empowering Learners and Addressing Educators' Challenges. I hope that we can talk about all the topics, at least, right, to move forward all these topics that are, in my humble opinion, very important for teaching. So let's share the agenda. Basically, this agenda is organized with 3 questions that from the very beginning I have to say that I don't have the answer. So we are going to share some impressions on that. Well, what is an interdisciplinary approach? How can students be empowered by interdisciplinarity? Which are the challenges faced by educators? And some concluding ideas, concluding thoughts, actually. I don't like to say conclusions because when you conclude, you start thinking over and over and over about the idea. Okay, so just to refresh some concepts, let's go about what is an interdisciplinary approach. All right. Basically, right, interdisciplinarity means teaching concepts, teaching concepts of different areas in interconnected ways, right? Let's take, for example, the STEM example, right? Let's take math or English language. Oh, something happens here that I cannot. Okay, well, I will tell you about that. Okay, well, so I was saying, let's take the STEM, example. Math and English language, for example, connecting together in order to either to answer a question, right, or to solve a real situation, a situation of the real world. Okay, these areas work together with a purpose, right? That would be something simple to work about what interdisciplinarity means. I've got here, right, some authors that I would like to share these ideas with you. They come from the field of education, but from different areas of education. The first case, Dr. Heidi Jacob says that interdisciplinarity for her is the integration of different fields of knowledge in balancing the learning contents and handling the problems by using more than one teaching approach. Interesting. Also, Jackie Gerstein, that is also into education, and you will see a graph that I have for her that I really like, explains that interdisciplinarity learning is a whole or comprehensive method that covers an idea, a topic, or a text by integrated multiple knowledge domains. It is a very powerful method of teaching that crosses the boundaries of disciplines or curriculum in order to enhance the scope and the depth of learning. Each discipline sheds light on the topic from a different facet, like a gem, she says. And the last author that I selected is Professor Carl Gombrich, that defines interdisciplinarity basically as combining two or more subjects to tackle a problem, create a product, have an insight you couldn't have by having only one discipline. So after having these definitions and provided a general definition or refreshing some concepts, I would like to ask a question in relation to this. That is, what world are we preparing our students for? Because whatever we are doing now, it will prepare our students for 5, 10, or 15 years from now. So if our students are processing, as Vicky mentioned some minutes ago, processing information differently, if they understand that the social production democratizes learning, and if they also understand that the value of social network is really important, and if beyond that they understand that there is a wide way of expressing themselves into media, well, most of the learning is not linear at all. Then that means, in my opinion, that we need other types of teachers. So we should use an interdisciplinary approach to focus on different areas of knowledge. In my opinion, if you ask me, I would say definitely let's go for interdisciplinarity, because it engages, it is engaging, and it is relevant to our students and also to us, because we feel identified. We don't live in one area of content world only. Interdisciplinarity approach models the world students are living in. We can tailor our students' curriculum to fit them in. With interdisciplinarity, we can create experiences where students can direct their own learning by exploring, inquiring any topic, and they can pull from the knowledge they build on their own. They can experience from their own background, their strengths, and their ideas to guide their own learning and also to connect with their own community. Also, it brings about critical thinking and the skills that critical thinkers need to be developed, I would say, and the practices, right, in order to examine a topic and a problem. When we typically work in groups, we may say, right, and we consider these perspectives or values, beliefs, attitudes, we compare them with others who might be different, let's say, and we start learning from those in an interpersonal way as well. These skills are necessary in order to learn and to expand on knowledge. And the last reason I would say is that interdisciplinarity develops problem-solving strategies. When one student uses what he or she knows from other content area to build new understanding and a solution, well, that's it. This is the way, in my opinion, it works. So, let's move forward. Let me see. This one. Well, this graphic is the graphic that I wanted to share with you. This is the graphic by Professor Gesting, right? From user-generated education. Well, and there you can see the benefits of interdisciplinarity learning that I have already explained. So, How can interdisciplinarity be shown? That would be like the second question, right? There we are. Okay, well, this is something that I have been doing and researching on, but there might be many other ways, right? In my opinion, the most popular are by means of literature, by means of critical literacy, and also, right, by working out projects. But there might be many other ways of working with interdisciplinarity. Well, let's begin with literature, of course. At the bottom of everything, literature is first in my life. So literature, let's go for literature, right? To share an example, I will go briefly over there. I've got some examples of the use of literature in learning. This is from the University of Tierra del Fuego, where I work. I will tell you that in this case, the choice is use, let's say, first sources, historical sources, in order to tackle a language exercise that is related to the use of affixes, but the idea is to provide some context in the issue about, let's say, in the to develop ideas in Malvinas issues. So these are historical, real text from Manuel Belgrano, from Faustino Sarmiento on the issue of Malvinas, and that is the text from where students would work with literature and also with language, right? Okay, that is the type of exercise, right? The exercise is very simple, doing a survey first. How much do you know about Malvinas issues, right? With a Google form, a forum participation, and after the forum participation, in which they have to write a question, right? To answer in Spanish, they select the affix that we are learning, right? In these courses of lectocomprensión that I teach there. Okay, there are some answers. Okay, so let's move now to critical, right, to the next one, to the next example, right? And here, right, let's focus on what is this 10 minutes. Oh my God. Right, so I will skip media literacy, right? Okay, but just saying about media literacy, the important thing about this is focusing on the analysis and the understanding of literacy in general terms, not only media, but also this means by means of the mass media, the media in general, and analyzing and reflecting upon that, but also digital media and global media. In this case, the two things, going about the texts, providing contexts, using these sources, and reflecting upon the use of the resources. Okay. The importance of context, we skip the example, right? And go into projects, just to move forward into project. This is one of the gems, right, that we like to share. This is a project that is called Welcome to My Pago. We are very proud of this project, I have to say, right? This is a project that we have been working, writing, and editing together with Marina Gonzalez and the rest of the team from Tierra del Fuego, right? And here are some examples from, let's say, some activities related to the development of projects. For example, I want to focus on the project that is, let's say, shown there is making a piece of art and find out information about an artist from, in this case, Tierra del Fuego. This means students need to do some research first, need to go about the community, need to learn about any artist from Tierra del Fuego they are interested in. They should collect pictures from the artist, and after that, they write this description about him or her, right? But there are many areas that come together in order to build up this project. Okay. And here there are some other examples from another program that is called Más Juego, Más Aprendo, in which many areas of knowledge come together in order to develop, right, different projects in order to learn by playing. Science, programming, robotics, and English, of course. So here are some pictures that students learn by doing, and they learn about different topics. And here is the chatter pics that I will use about the robots. Now, we cannot listen to that. Okay. So, let's move into how comes that students can be empowered by interdisciplinarity. I'm sorry, Marina, I need to go about this. All right, I will do it in 5. Right. Okay, I'll be working here with many ideas that have already been mentioned, basically about Paulo Freire and also, right, Macedo, that share the way in which students can be empowered by raising awareness on social justice and democratization of knowledge. So, Paulo Freire says that learning is a process where knowledge is presented to us, then shaped through understanding, discussion, and reflection. Gabriel Diaz-Maggioli mentioned, right, about praxis, the importance of practice, remember, right? Because, right, the aims, right, for Paulo Freire were related to he focused on the importance of that word that was the transforming word in order to solve problems and to use questioning, right, as a means to reach, right, that aim. Because, right, basically, I would like to say this about Paulo Freire. At the basis of education, according to Paulo Freire, is love. Love for the world, love for humans, love for nature. And he understood love as social justice. So from love, awareness, from awareness, dialogue and interaction, and these transforming words that transformed into actions that later on would be reflected upon. So I wanted to share that. So raising awareness is very important. There are some literature that you can resort to, right? Like this Freirean ELT agenda to empower students by Chris Soughton. He wrote about Paulo Freire. And well, there you've got some of the bullets that he's interested in. I would like to focus on the one that is in blue that say socially active learning to move into the following. That is a colleague that I want to mention, right? Talking about reflection and being active, right? As you can see, right? Let me see, where am I? Here we are. Okay. So, to now, talking about reflection, to empower students but raising awareness, I would like you to focus on the raising awareness on identity. And here she is, Dr. Barboni, right? You may know her. She is a very well-known, widely known, right, researcher. And she's also an Argentinian researcher from Universidad de La Plata, and is the author from many books, but one that I want you to draw attention is Enseñanza del Inglés, here it is, del Inglés y la Identidad Nacional, among many other books. And she says, English teaching is not limited to a mere acquisition of information and knowledge, either linguistic or non-linguistic. It encourages children and young people to create, maintain, and develop their unique identities and their multiple varied dimensions, empowering them to negotiate meanings with others in a socially rich linguistic and cultural contexts. Very powerful, very important. This means that in my understanding of Barboni, that teaching English to students, it's about providing them with opportunities to interact with texts, with people, with situations from other cultures, and thus enriching their worldview, not only talking about them, but talking about others altogether, right? Considering socio-cultural environment and the place and also considering their place in this society they are immersed in. The only way of reflecting and raising awareness about the place we are in order to change that situation is by means of education, by means of interaction, by means of providing opportunities, right, that enhance their views. I want to share an example. I hope that you can recognize this place. Yes, now you know where we are. Right, okay, well, short anecdote on this, otherwise I want to finish in 2 minutes, right? Okay, so this is called Collective Thoughts About Current Turmoil. This was written 2 years ago with my class. At that time, right, I was teaching intercultural studies 1 with first-year students. And we were in the middle of a situation of social and economic turmoil in Argentina, and especially here in this area, right? I don't know how to go about this word, but there were saqueos. Who can help me with that word? Well, there were some saqueos in the, okay. Okay, right, okay. So, I was about to teach my lesson every Tuesday, 6 o'clock, and my students couldn't stop talking about this situation they were immersed in, and they were afraid of coming to the university because we were about to have a test, and they were saying, well, teacher, do we have the class? Can we connect? Well, the situation is very difficult. The media is saying that we cannot move outside our houses, and so on and so forth. The situation was not totally the way the media was broadcasting that. In any case, they were afraid enough not to move away from their homes. So I had to take a decision that was beyond my teaching of literature, the romantics. Nothing to do, right? So I said, okay, let's open a Google Drive and let's transform this into something related to literature. And we answer this question that is here, that you can see, I hope, that you can see over there, How important, the question was, how important is it to be an UMPAS student? And I cry every time that I say it. A student of English at this time of chaos. And these are the answers that are very small over here, and I will try to read some. It is very important because it is public and free, otherwise I couldn't study. It is very important to lose focus and never give up. It is important to be a student at UMPAS today because this puts us in focus. And nowadays, there are more discussions taking place that threaten free and public education. It is important to be a student of English at UMPAS. It has helped me to relax and focus on other things, apart from feelings of despair, which have come as a result of the current political and economic situation. Food for thought. Okay. Definitely, right, there are many other things we can say in relation to the challenges that educators face. There are many. We carried out a research, but the only thing I would like to say is that I was surprised to find out that teachers, right, didn't know much about interdisciplinarity. The numbers are here and my presentation is available for everyone. And that people, teachers, refer to different things when we ask about interdisciplinarity, which shows that there is a misconception and that we need to work a lot on this. And that there is a reinforcement of an idea that working in an interdisciplinary way is something that should be extra from the class and not an approach to the class. So I think that there is a great work to do there and that we are all responsible for this. These are the findings, right? So, and quotes from teachers. But some concluding thoughts. Interdisciplinary learning is essential for students to achieve goals in the real world. It could be presented by means of literature, intercultural experiences, projects, or any critical literacy. An interdisciplinary approach raises awareness on social justice, democratization of knowledge, and national identity. Educators support in implementing interdisciplinary approach in their classes. They are willing to, but they need support on this. And it is high time governments, institutions, and educators understood the importance of teaching English through an interdisciplinary approach in terms of opportunities for students. Now, I have to say thank you to all of you. Well, there you can find.